Hello, 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 and welcome to our Yukon Nintendo Club Pokemon Draft League Week 4 Gold Division recap. This week we have a match between the esteemed Pratham, he's been with us for a couple seasons now, bit of a veteran, versus the newcomer up and rising star, Ramon. And this week, the rules were Swapmons. It's kind of like almost any ability where Pokemon can swap around their abilities, except you can only use abilities that are from Pokemon you drafted on your team, with a budget, of course. For example, if your Landorus Theory had Intimidate, you could give that Intimidate to something else. And if you had two things that Intimidates, you have two Intimidates to share among your team. But you can't run the same ability more than there are instances of it on your team. And for the mini wheel this week, very simple. We had Hazards, in which Pokemon cannot run Stealth Rock, Spikes, any move that lays down hazards, or Rapid Spin, or, Defog. You can run Boots and, Magic Coat and, some stuff that kind of works around that stuff, though. Ken?
Yeah. Interesting team choice. Pratham's is very fat.
It's true.
And I don't see a lot of wall-breaking potential. I mean, I know there's the Escav, but...
Zeraora.
Zeraora, yeah, I guess... But it's going to have a tough time breaking through that Chomp.
You think so? Alright, fair enough. It does get play rough.
It does get play rough, but Garchomp is very bulky. Probably
that's true.
One and just
the Mega
back.
The Mega is tanky. I guess the abilities may have a role in that as well. Let's have a look. Alright. Let's see the leads. I like that Glacier and Wigglytuff came. It's cool to see lesser used Pokemon like that. Let's see. Jirachi comes in. A fine lead. Can't really Stealth Rock, assuming that. Sandstream, very interesting. Probably going for support on somebody. I don't know who, because the Sand Force could be anywhere, or the Sand Veil.
He also has Sand Rush as well.
Oh, from Stoutland. Yes, that's true. I forgot.
Yeah.
There you go. Intimidate, very nice on Mandibuzz. Extremely nice on Mandibuzz.
Intimidate, Mandibuzz, very cursed.
Literal AIDS. I know, that gave me AIDS just looking at that. A nice knockoff from Cavalier. Very good move there, just to take a little bit off that. It is also cursed to see Mandibuzz take sand damage, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see. Togetic comes out. Pretty good switching for Mandibuzz if there's no knockoff. If there is a knockoff, which there is, unfortunate. It is unfortunate. But Togetic still might be able to tank Garchomp here if it doesn't have Stone Edge. If it has Stone Edge, that may be it. Yeah. I imagine you would have Stone Edge for a Togetic, but yeah. We see a Roost come out. Mandibuzz really being conservative. Not afraid of Toxic or Dazzling Gleam at all for some reason. I don't know if I would stay in there. When you have an Intimidate Mandibuzz, you can kind of... You don't need to be at 100% all the time, right? You can kind of roll with it a little bit.
Especially with no hazards, no...
Yep. Probably no hazards, yeah. If nobody's breaking the mini wheel.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, I don't know if I mentioned this, but yeah, people don't know who has the mini wheel when their battle begins, so it's kind of like a figure it out type thing. Though a lot of times, I think the mini wheel is slightly more popular than it isn't, so you can probably be 70% chance they're going to do it. But yeah, Seismic Toss comes out.
A lot of times you could tell from the first few turns.
Exactly, yeah, some of them are pretty obvious. Even with hazards, where it's you don't know for sure, but you just have a hunch after a while if they don't get laid down. Seismic Toss from Togetic is very nice to get some damage on things like Jirachi, because its attack stats are garbage. We see a nice U-turn come out against the Jellicent. Intimidate Jellicent, interesting choice. Not bad. Gives it much needed physical bulk, right? Since it's a little frail on that side.
Yep.
I love Glastrier. I don't know what it's doing against Jellicent. Maybe an ability is going to help it out, but I'm really not sure because...
maybe Throat Chop.
Mono, Ice versus Water. Yeah, it doesn't seem that great. Scald, no burn. I'm sure Ramon's thankful for that. A nice Throat Chop. Okay, fair enough. You got the Intimidate. That's pretty good damage. I still don't love going in here, though, because it's just risking a burn for not, that much immediate reward.
Yeah.
Which I don't love. It makes me nervous. But it leaves. We see Escavalier come out. Glacier comes out pretty wisely, probably realizing that was not the best situation to be in. But now Wigglytuff's in a bad situation, right? And we see Mandibuzz come out, though, kind of effortlessly, as you can see, because... I don't know what Escavalier can do here, but it's basically nothing.
Yeah, 20%, Jesus.
Yep, that Escavalier needs Toxic to get through, which it does not have as it goes back to Togetic. And I imagine we'll see a Roost from Mandibuzz, maybe, or a U-turn. Fair enough. You might want to Roost on a Mega Horn. Good U-turn, gets the momentum going. Jirachi coming in, more Sandstream. The sand this game is... This has got the Gen 3 game, stuff where, Sandship is actually mattering. Because of how long this is going. Let's see. Protect, sure. Scout a little bit.
Stall a few turns to sand, yeah.
Psychic. I'm going to speed this up a little bit just because this phase of the battle seems to be a little sluggish, which is fine, but, we don't have much to comment on. It's just like, yeah, man, Sand chip every turn, bro. Psychic does a lot. I guess the Evilate's been knocked off, though, so Togetic's not really, like, a big bulker anymore.
Yeah.
Let's see, the Wish is coming in. I imagine it's going to protect for that. Glacier taking advantage of the situation. Very nice switching. Very good switching. But now the question is, what will Togetic go to? Jellicent or Escavalier, maybe? Escavalier. Let's see what Adam does with that. Not Adam, Ramon. Icicle Crash, decent damage. Doesn't do a lot. Just knowing, I'll say spoil from the paste, that Escavalier, and just looking at that calc, you'd figure out for yourself, is thick fat. It's pretty interesting. That still even does that much, because it's a 4 times resist, basically. Manibus comes back again. We got our flying buddies. Bird buddies.
Bird.
Yeah, man. Oh, jeez. Whaley Tough comes in. I want to see what this Whaley Tough has. Does it have screens? Does it have Wish Protect? It probably has Wish Protect, doesn't it? Oh, my God. That Jellyfish Jellicent's going to catch a Wish. Oblivious! Now, why would you... Oh, it's for the block Taunt, I suppose, right? That's what Oblivious... Or, no, Oblivious is Attract, isn't it? Or is that...
I believe Oblivious blocks Taunt as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they changed. I forget which ones they changed, because they changed a couple of them. Okay.
I believe Oblivious is both Attract and...
No, I think it is Taunt. Yeah, I think it is Taunt. Yeah, they changed it. It used to just be Attract in, like, Gen 5. I think Gen 6 they made it useful. Anyway.
It was...
We see Energy Ball do nothing. That's kind of something. What does this Jirachi have so far? U-turn, Psychic Energy Ball, so it's shit against Escavalier is what I'm hearing. No Fire Punch, huh? I wonder what that last move was. I guess it appeared special, maybe.
Yep, and...
We see the Guts Zero Aura, I'm going to say, based on that Flame Orb. Which is a very nice wall breaker here. You can follow this up with a close combat, maybe, and you can kill the Glacier. Let's see. If it has close combat.
It's a Zero, or it's going to have close combat.
Maybe not. Switches it out. I don't know. Or maybe they're just playing it safe. Maybe. They're worried about like a Chopple or something weird. But I don't know. I would have just gone for it. But I understand wanting to play your wall breaker safe here because Pratham is really just all bulk otherwise. Yeah. I mean, Donphan can be a little more offensive. Shaman, too. It depends what sets he's running. He hasn't shown them yet, which is really interesting. He's really taking his time. We finally see that Toxic come on to Manibus. That is very much needed. And a very good thing for Pratham there. Jirachi comes back out. We see Jellicent go for their cover. I mentioned Jirachi's not really scared in this matchup. I don't think the Jellicent has room for a ghost move, but I could be wrong. It might have one. Escavalier comes back out. It's going to take nothing from Energy Ball. No, U-turn. Very good read from Ramon on that switch. Very good. Garchomp comes in. I'm glad to see some Garchomp action. Sand is up. I don't know. It's probably not Sand Force because, my Garchomp's ability is not his strongest suit. What do we see here? Swords Dance. Nice. Which cancels out the Intimidate real quick. The Jellicent can punish me with like a Will-O-Wisp or like an Ice Beam, but Garchomp does have a really strong Earthquake coming out. Oh, and that's Sand Chip killing, isn't it? Or does Leftovers go before? I think that Sand Chip will just take it out, right? Yep, there we go. Perfect. Yep, lives the Ice Beam. I mean, I guess that's to the point you made earlier. Yeah, Mega Garchomp is very bulky. But now it's certainly in range for whatever Zero Aura has to do. Donphan comes out with an Ice Shard. Nice move, but sadly, wrong turn for it. Jirachi just eats that, and that's clearly locked in, right? Oh, wait, no, it's not. Maybe. Well, yeah, the Donphan's full health, so maybe you'd stay in, but maybe you don't want to take the Energy Ball. Like, that's kind of up to debate. But, I don't know. We see Salazzle sub against the Escavalier. The Escavalier doesn't seem to mind much. Once again, that thick fat kind of showing through. The ability plays have been very, like, nuanced but consistent here, where it's like they're not, like, in your face, but, like, there's a lot of ability benefit going on. It's like the thick fat Escavalier, the Intimidate Mandibuzz, whatever Garchomp is doing. Does Garchomp have thick fat? It really did take that Ice Beam like a champ. Does Ramon have access to thick fat? No, what does it got?
Do you want me to spoil it?
If it comes, well, if it gets revealed later, yeah, we can wait a little bit.
It does not. I don't think it gets revealed later.
All right, well, you can say it then if you want.
It is Sand Rush.
Oh, that's good. That makes sense. Oh wow, that's too bad actually.
Scary.
That's too bad actually, because if you're thinking about it, sometimes it's a case of ain't broke, huh? I mean, I know Sand Rush beats Zero Aura, but Sand Force would have killed that Jellicent, wouldn't it? It would have taken out that Jellicent. That's pretty funny. All right, so Salazzle comes back. There's a lot of complicated switching going on. We're not really commenting on it much because it's stuff we've seen before. We've seen it before. We see the nice Fire Blast come out. Good damage, even with Thick Fat, but the Thick Fat is very crucial there just for being able to actually pressure the Salazzle without letting it run a Toxic Train on everybody. Escavalier finally falls. Things aren't looking too great for Pratham because two of his bulky keys kind of went down, and now he's releasing on Togetic. But he's going to start bringing out the offense now. And I think this is something that maybe I don't know why he was waiting so long to bring out Shaman like this. Because, I don't know.
I guess not a lot. He doesn't have a lot of pivot moves, I guess.
That's fair. And Shaman can't do that.
Trying to get in Shaman on its own is tough.
So this is clearly Serene Grace on Shaman, right? Which, is nice with the air slashes. Honestly, those Seed Flare probably would have worked just about as well, because that's an 80% chance to, cut special defense in half. So that also would have cleaved whatever was in the way. So this Shaman is really fucking good here. We see Togetic come back into Jirachi. Jirachi getting that U-turn momentum he's so famous for. Garchomp comes back. Probably got some nasty plan for Togetic. Togetic is just going to go down to whatever, I'd imagine, if there's a proper coverage move for it. Poison Jab. Yep, that'll kill when it gets on there. Pratham could go Donphan. That wouldn't be a terrible move. But he just lets Togetic die, which I get, because it's not that good anymore, right? It's half health. It's no Eviolite. The bulky core is kind of gone. Pratham's really on his toes here. But he's got a good offense remaining. I don't see good checks to Zeraora, do you?
Not really, especially after that dies.
Yeah, Earthquake, that goes down. That's a really nice, strong Earthquake. I'm going to imagine that's Choice Band, just based on the earlier Ice Shard play. And just kind of Jirachi clearing it out. Wigglytuff barely holds on there. With an Icy, what is this fucking Wigglytuff? It's Wish, Teleport, Ice Beam. That's kind of interesting. I think a Screens Wigglytuff could have done some real good here with the Swords Dance Garchomp. Salazzle comes back out. Can it take out that Donphan in one hit? That is a very optimistic sub right there. I don't think Donphan's backing down. Because Pratham doesn't have switches anymore, so he's not going to do it. Fire Blast takes care of that right quick.
Don't worry, it's Levitate Salazzle. My dad works at Nintendo.
Oh, shit. Wait a second. No, it's not. You're lying. We see a nice knockoff there, so that's probably not close combat. It might be if it's 4 attacks. Just to answer the other. So Glacier might be able to live one from this thing. Yeah, it definitely does. Yep. Glacier is fucking Mr. Bulky.
Actually,
nice high horsepower.
I think Pratham definitely overlooked this, and I overlooked this as well before this interaction.
What?
That is Regen Glastrier.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'd forgotten that too. I noticed that. And that's really nice, because Glacier is so bulky. It really is so bulky. And we see, I think Glacier's going to come out on top then, if it's his Ulvis, as you say, right? Because it just lands the Icicle Crash, and that is it. Really nice. I didn't remember the result of that one. I hadn't. I thought Pratham won. It was a cool, close game, but Ramon came out on top. That's really cool to see Glacier do it, because Glacier's Pokemon you don't really see drafted often, because it's kind of really specific and not that great in a lot of situations, but its stats are so good.
Great week for Glacier with you banking on your opponent not bringing hazards because of the mini wheel. You've got nice AV. You've got nice solid bulk. You've got the AV regenerator going.
Yep, and even if they did bring hazards too, it's like the regenerator kind of fixes it a little bit. It's just really fantastic overall.
I would have, if I was Pratham, I would have locked into Air Slash and just tried to bank on the flinches.
Yeah, and this is one of those battles too where it's like if rocks were here, it would have probably been a bit quicker. So it's one of those things too that makes you realize how much rocks can accelerate the game. Really cool game. Very good shining point for Glacier. Really tough to get to do much, but glad it came. I liked Pratham's sets a lot. I felt like Ramon's sets were a little more normal. They weren't very different, but that was fine. Glacier in particular, I think, made up for some of that, where it was kind of like not at all straightforward, right? Whereas like Pratham was kind of changing up the way you use some of those Pokemon a little bit. Particularly Shaman with a Choice Scarf set, which would normally be kind of awful. I mean, people have used that times, but it's usually not that great. Becoming very threatening, I think. It was a cool. Both players, whether they were reserved or went out there, they made very good use of their Pokemon in this game, as you can tell from it being 51 turns and 1 differential.
Yep. Do you just want to go over the abilities real fast? I think we saw most of them.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Which ones did we see? Well, what's the Salazzle packing?
Lightning Rod.
That is cool for the Zeraora, because I think Zeraora, if I was fighting the Salazzle, I would go for Plasma. Did he ever force that confrontation? Did he ever bring out Salazzle against Zeraora? I guess he didn't have an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
That's too bad. Yeah, because Guts knockoff might have just killed the Salazzle, like unless it was made at like full health. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it did.
Okay.
There was no reason. No reason to.
It did, but that's why you surprise it with it, right? Because Plasma Fist is still more powerful on paper. So that's why, like, yeah, so I would switch Salazzle into the Plasma Fist, just because then it's like, okay, now I know I'm going to knock off you, and then you just die. But if you, like, something goes down to Zeraora, which I don't know if this happened or not, and you have the option to bring out Salazzle against Zeraora, then that would be decent, I guess, because it's like,
I believe that happened in the end game.
Did it? I zoned out there. Let's see. Fire Blast, Salazzle. No, I just went for the knockoff. Oh, but it was at 50%, so I get that. Because if something's lower, you just go for knockoff because it's a better in case something switches in. Yeah, that's fair. Maybe a miscalc in the Salazzle, but I don't know what else I would bring on there. Really? Did you see anything that looked too good for Salazzle? Ability-wise from Ramon's team? Was there a Levitate? Probably not.
No. Could have given it regen from Eldegoss.
That might have been okay. That's not the worst thing.
I think it would have been better on Glastrier. Intimidate.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything too good to give it. Lightning Rod does sound like the best. Just
maybe Sandveil.
Sandveil. Oh, Sandveil could be pretty funny. Yeah. A little, and you do take sand damage. Oh wait, no, Sandveil gives you immunity. Yeah, that Sandveil could have been good. Sandveil, I think Lightning Rod was a fine choice though. To be honest, thinking about the other ability options, but Sandveil could have been fun. Mandy Buzz, we saw Wigglytuff. What was Wigglytuff? Oblivious, right. Jirachi, Sandstream. All right, so we know all Ramon's. Let's see, what did Pratham have? What was Togetic again?
Natural Cure.
Oh, right. And I don't know if that came in or not. Shaman was Serene Grace, of course. Donphan was the usual, or what was Donphan?
Water Absorb.
Water Absorb, very nice. I don't think that came in because there's no water type. Gyarados didn't come.
What? Yeah, no, that would have been... what did it have for the Gyarados?
Rock
Slide, I guess?
Probably, yeah. And I get that, because if you see a Gyarados in this week, you're like, it's running Electric Immunity if it can. Like, it's going to do that. So I wouldn't bother with Thunder Fang.
And it does have that from the Pikachu.
Yeah, exactly. And if I saw Gyarados, I would go for Rock over Electric, too. Jelly Swinson. Yeah, no, that was a good set of abilities. And they really got to be shown off this week. A longer game, that tends to be conducive for that, right? But yeah, a fantastic game. Really highlighting the wondrous potentials of the wheel here.
I think I would have done a support Jirachi. I know you can't rocks, but like with Wish, Doom Desire shenanigans.
Oh my god. I like how Ken watched this game and said, you know what we needed? Something else using Wish. That's what we need.
I was going to say Wish Jirachi screens Wigglytuff. And then I was going to say, but more importantly, I wouldn't have gone with whatever was on Jirachi.
I would have,
Rock to get those sand turns going for the Garchomp.
That's fair. I might have done Sandstream on Wigglytuff just because, whatever. I don't really care what I'm doing with Wigglytuff. I don't think Oblivious is that important for it. I know the taunt came in, but I was just like, whatever, because then I still get the sand anyway. And I'm so boring. I would have kept Serene Grace on Jirachi, kept Ironhead, U-turn, because U-turn was doing wonders. Like Ironhead, U-turn, Toxic for the Jellyfish, Jellicent, and then like Fire Punch. It would have been so boring here. But it still did stuff. Yeah, good game. I think we've said enough about it. All right, we'll catch you guys for the next one.
See yous.
Toodaloo. Enjoy that black screen.